What's going on, everybody? Now, if you watch my channel, you guys know that I love the Total Gym. I love these sliding bench training machines in general, which admittedly Total Gym essentially perfected and set the standard for these machines. And you often hear me say that I do believe that they're most versatile, effective, efficient, and most fun pieces of exercise equipment you can buy. But recently I was doing a workout and some thoughts were kind of going through my head about actually this workout you guys are seeing in the backdrop about why is it that I do love this machine so much. And there's a couple things that actually were going through my head as I was doing this workout that made me think about doing this. So I thought I'd share with you guys my top 3 reasons why I personally love the Total Gym. And I think some of these reasons are also why some people don't like the machine as well. So you might find this video helpful if you're maybe apprehensive or on the fence about picking one up, or maybe you're wondering, maybe you picked one up and you're wondering why this machine isn't sticking for you. And in general, I think you'll find some value out of this, but I certainly want to hear why, one, maybe you don't like it, or maybe why you're apprehensive, and or just why you yourself just love this machine as much as I do. So definitely comment down below if any of those areas apply to you. I am genuinely interested in kind of hearing that out. And as always, if you guys do like this content and this video, please consider liking and or subscribing. Now you can see I made a top 3 list. I wasn't going to make this a really exhaustive list, but certainly all 3 of these things I'm discussing really branches off into like many other areas. Now the first area I want to get into, and these are in no particular order as to why I do love this machine so much, and this is the first really thought that went through my mind as I was doing this workout, is it's just quick transitional nature of the machine. The fact that you can just quickly switch between exercises on the fly, I think is huge, at least for someone like me, because when I was first going to the gym, I loved, sticking, don't get me wrong, I had times where I would kind of stick to traditional barbell strength training, making a logbook or a journal and logging my weights. But where I really had the most fun in my workouts, in my history when I was going to the gym, was really kind of these like out of body, in the zone, kind of flow state experiences where I essentially put my headphones on. I would just kind of get in the zone of supersetting between different exercises and machines or just benches and stuff. And I was that guy who was kind of all over the place. Definitely wasn't annoying. I try to stick between like kind of 2 things and then kind of move on. But that's where I really had the most fun. And so when I started transitioning to home workouts, where in the past my home workouts generally it kind of failed and I always go back to the gym, I think what really made this stick was because the Total Gym was a really good way of kind of replicating what I was doing in the gym with these kind of quick superset, quick transition type workouts and exercises that in some ways is actually superior to some of the workouts I was actually getting in the gym. And this kind of allowed me to kind of go into like lateral raises, into sit-ups, into pullovers, into tricep extensions, then back to bicep curls, turn back around to chest presses, then to single leg squats, then right back into pull-ups, etc. It kind of goes on. But oftentimes without even moving the tower height or even the incline, kind of like what you're seeing here in this workout, I don't think I really move or mess with this too much. And even though I've covered numerous unique ways to set up and use the machine, I still keep coming back to exercises that are simple and quick to transition to. And this is why I mentioned in previous videos, I've expressed other home gym staples like resistance bands, even free weights, kind of lost their fun for me because they generally just took more time to kind of switch out weight or tension, which really isn't conducive to those workouts I'm alluding to. I'll get to this a little bit in the second point, but I can see where some people just aren't going to like this. Yes, it's really versatile. Yes, you can quickly switch out exercises and movements, but I think some people really like to kind of track and know their exact progress. And so doing so in a Total Gym where, yes, you can kind of flow things together, people kind of like an ordered, kind of organized way of approaching their exercise program. And I get a lot of questions like this from people over the internet that is kind of related to the same kind of topic where they want kind of specific answers to questions with programming. And I try and answer it as best I can, especially over, internet comments, because there's tons of variables that kind of go into play with this stuff. I don't talk about that much. If you guys do want individual coaching or if you just want to ask me a simple question, feel free to email me. I just don't advertise it that much because I'm a whole lot of time. But what I really just want to tell people, if they're kind of getting hung up in like the head games of like knowing an exact thing they have to do versus like quickly switching and transitioning and trying different things, is just to kind of have fun with the machine. Definitely practice a few staples. You want to balance it out a little bit. Definitely practice some good pulling and pressing exercises. Do some leg stuff, incorporate some single joint movements like bicep curls, tricep extensions, single joint arm stuff, or even leg stuff. But just kind of stick to things that are working for you, that are providing you guys adequate stress to your muscles. Now, reason number 2 why I love the Total Gym is the fact that it gives me an opportunity to express my creativity in my workouts, which is what I've always traditionally loved to do. And despite kind of looking at this machine that it has this kind of limited design and the way it looks, and that's how I kind of first looked at it, that maybe this thing would only be limited to a certain, few exercises and movements that you really could do, there's so much room to make these exercises and equipment work for you. Something else that I used to love to do and still do, as you guys can notice, is really just kind of try different exercise, try different movements, and just kind of experiment with different things that kind of stress my muscles. Not in a way of just kind of just trying something different for the sake of trying it, but really trying something that really effectively kind of stimulates and stresses my muscles. And I think a lot of this was when I first was coming into the fitness industry in the early 2000s. This was a big time. People were trying things like, Paul Chek was around, functional training was around, where they were doing a lot of like standing on stability balls, squatting on stability balls. CrossFit was getting big, so they're incorporating Olympic lifting with gymnastics. All sorts of modalities were coming together, and that was kind of the heyday where a lot of people were kind of experimenting and trying a lot of different things and kind of sharing ideas. And that's when kind of fitness really clicked for me outside of just traditional bodybuilding exercises, which I still do, and that'll kind of get into the maybe the third point. But I do firmly believe that this machine really shines, especially in the realm of like bodybuilding and just aesthetics, and really getting the most out of this machine if you are kind of creative and try stuff that kind of works for you. But just like my last point, I think a lot of people really don't like this because they really want to be told exactly what to do. And because the Total Gym has these different incline levels and there are so many different variables, even just like positional wise, how you hold the handles, a lot of things can be different to how that stress might feel to one person to the next. Which is why I think some people just love these, like, those tonal devices or these like kind of smart gyms that are coming out there. And I could see the allure for a lot of people. Like, I know my wife loves stuff like that. She likes to do a workout that's just kind of straightforward, to the point. But for me, that's why I really don't think I would like those things. I really don't like doing workouts to the T, because I really kind of feel like whenever I do that, I'm kind of shortchanging myself, because there's a lot more work I could have done in a particular area. There's other things I would have changed differently that would have fit me. And I understand that kind of takes some time. Some of this stuff as a beginner, yeah, you want to dial down things, kind of get the patterns right, kind of see what works for you. So I think there's definitely some validity in that argument. So I'm always kind of inviting you guys to really get out there and kind of try your own level of creativity with the machine. And I need to try and make an explicit video, always kind of reminding you guys, which I do in most of my videos, not to try everything I'm doing, because I do try and have tried a lot of wacky or unorthodox stuff, not just in the Total Gym, but like outside of the gym, my history of doing it. But despite trying all these weird and different things, I'm always extra cautious. I know myself. I've maybe had some little wipeouts here and there, but as much as I've done some really wacky things, I always feel like I'm in control. I never do anything that I kind of feel like I'm in a high risk. So when you guys see me kind of like standing on the machine and doing exercises, I really feel pretty confident and comfortable on the machine. And I just look at the Total Gym just like a tool, just like anything else, just like a stability ball or a barbell or dumbbell or free weight. It can do a lot of things, but it's really limited to the individual's abilities and creativity. And yes, granted, the integrity of the equipment. Third and final reason why I love my Total Gym and I never get tired of it as my sole form of resistance training really is the fact that it just feels so good. I wouldn't be sticking with this machine if I didn't feel like the stress was adequate and I was getting something out of it. For sure, yeah, I think free weights feel good, and I can make those kind of, I can stress my muscles to a certain degree with that. I always love a good solid machine that's in the gym, but I've always traditionally loved the tension and stress that a cable machine provides. And if I was ever going to get something, maybe to outfit a big gym for my personal liking, and if I maybe had more space, maybe obviously this thing's pretty expensive, would be one of those like free motion towers. I've always loved those things, but they are essentially beasts, and I'd hate to if I even did invest one of those, I'd hate to kind of set it up and have to like break it down if I ever had to move. But that's the kind of tension and stress that the Total Gym provides. It really mimics, I think, one of those type of machines, and I've always kind of loved those in the past. And I think the Total Gym in some ways is a little bit superior, again, because it provides that same kind of tension that I've kind of gotten into that, but it's using your own body weight, and it's doing it in a lot more compact fashion. So it's a lot easier to kind of move around. Again, it has a lot of huge element of creativity kind of implement with the use of that machine. And I've said in many videos referring to different body parts that if I was given the choice between a free weight, some specialized machine for, say, training my arms, shoulders, or back, many times over, if you gave me the option and you had a Total Gym or a sliding bench trainer, probably 9 times out of 10, I'd probably choose a sliding bench trainer as like my go-to source of like, I know that I can stress those body parts really well. Now, it's not perfect in all body parts. You got to fine tune some things more or less. But again, like I said in point 2, you're really more or less limited to your own abilities when it comes to this. Now, I could have made this an hour-long dedication video to Total Gym, but those I'd say are my main top 3 reasons why I love this machine. And again, if I extrapolated it out, that would go into so many different subcategories, like I already alluded to, like versatility, effectiveness, number of exercises, etc., less strain on the joints. But I know they've probably sold a lot of Total Gyms, but I'm just always surprised that these things are now discussed more in fitness circles. And really, if you work out from home and you don't have one of these things, I really just want to know why you don't have one. That's really a legitimate question. I'm kind of concerned with, but really I'm curious about. So that's it, you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Love to hear your thoughts and comments on this, but otherwise I'll see you guys in the next video.